Imagine a car company so obscure that even Elon Musk once chuckled at its ambitions. A company so under the radar that, for years, industry insiders regarded it as little more than an afterthought. Now envision that same company, in less than 24 months, not only outselling Tesla across the entire European continent, but also redefining the very idea of what it means to be a global automotive powerhouse. This is not a fairy tale or a case of clever marketing. This is the extraordinary true story of Build Your Dreams, better known as BYD, a name that is now shaking the foundations of the car world and rewriting the unwritten rules of global competition. How did a little-known battery manufacturer from the bustling city of Shenzhen transform itself into the so-called Tesla killer and the world's preeminent electric vehicle producer seemingly overnight? To understand BYD's meteoric rise, let's travel back almost 30 years. The year was 1995. In the rapidly industrializing city of Shenzhen, a place that would soon become a global technology hub, Wang Chuanfu, a chemist born into one of China's most impoverished farming provinces, decided to launch a company. His vision was both simple and audacious, to make batteries that were not only better but also more affordable than anything else on the market. Initially, BYD's business had nothing to do with the glamour of the automotive industry. Instead, it quietly powered the mobile revolution, manufacturing lithium-ion batteries for household names like Motorola and Nokia. As mobile phones evolved from luxury items to everyday necessities in the late 1990s and early 2000s, BYD was there every step of the way, fueling the very devices that would change the way the world communicates. By the time the new millennium dawned, BYD had become a silent giant in battery technology. Yet the company's ambitions were just getting started. In 2003, BYD made a bold leap into the automotive world by acquiring a modest car maker known as Xi'an Qinchuan Automobile. Industry insiders raised their eyebrows. What did a battery company know about building cars? Their early vehicles, like the combustion engine F3 and the plug-in hybrid F3DM, were not exactly setting the world on fire in terms of design or performance. But behind the scenes, a remarkable transformation was brewing. But the company's journey was far from easy. The 2010s were tough years for BYD, with global competition heating up and foreign automakers flooding the Chinese market. For a while, it looked as if BYD might become another casualty of China's fast-paced, cutthroat business environment. Yet Wang Chuanfu, drawing on his background in chemistry and his relentless drive, doubled down on innovation. He made a strategic bet that would change the destiny of the company, and perhaps the entire automotive industry, investing heavily in advanced battery technology. The real breakthrough came in 2020, when BYD unveiled the Blade battery. This was not just another incremental improvement, it was a technological leap. The Blade battery increased space utilization by as much as 50%, delivering greater range and efficiency. Even more crucially, it passed some of the industry's toughest safety tests, including the infamous nail penetration test, demonstrating exceptional resistance to combustion and overheating. Counterpoint research declared, BYD's vertical integration and battery technology are giving the company a decisive edge in the global EV race. For consumers, this was a game changer. The Blade battery addressed two of the biggest concerns about electric vehicles: safety and range anxiety. Suddenly, driving electric was not just eco-friendly, but also practical and reliable. Fast forward to the end of 2023. BYD accomplished what many thought impossible. It surpassed Tesla to become the world's largest electric vehicle manufacturer. By March of 2025, BYD's cumulative sales of electric vehicles had soared past 11 million units, leaving Tesla's 7.5 million in the dust. For context, China's Geely, owner of legacy brands like Volvo, Polestar, and Lotus, had managed only about 1.5 million electric vehicles by that same date. In Europe, BYD's monthly sales overtook those of Tesla for the first time, a moment the New York Times described as a watershed. This was not simply a statistical milestone, it was the symbolic arrival of Chinese electric vehicles on the global stage, a shift that echoes the rise of Japanese automakers like Toyota and Honda in the late 20th century. But the BYD story is about far more than numbers. It is a tale of redemption, resilience, and radical transformation. Back in 2011, Elon Musk was filmed laughing off BYD's prospects. In a now famous Bloomberg interview, Musk remarked, "I don't think their technology is very strong. I think their focus should be on surviving in China." Industry analyst Michael Dunn echoed the sentiment, describing BYD as the laughingstock of the industry. Yet, as history would show, the underdog was simply biding its time. Today, as analysts like Danny Hewson of AJ Bell observe, Tesla executives are reeling as BYD posts record-shattering sales, particularly in the year 2024. The so-called overnight success of BYD is, in reality, the result of a meticulously executed long-term strategy. Unlike many Western automakers, BYD embraced vertical integration with near-religious zeal. The company controls every aspect of production, designing and manufacturing its own batteries, developing proprietary chips, and even building its own charging infrastructure. This means that BYD can innovate and adapt at lightning speed, unburdened by dependence on external suppliers or vulnerable supply chains. It also allows BYD to keep costs remarkably low, a crucial advantage in a fiercely price-sensitive industry. In a sense, BYD's approach harks back to the playbook of early Japanese carmakers, who disrupted the Western automotive order through relentless efficiency and quality control. One of the most innovative moves in BYD's recent history has been its strategic partnership with Octopus Energy in the United Kingdom. Together, they offer British consumers an unprecedented bundle, the opportunity to lease a Dolphin Super Mini at an affordable monthly rate, complete with free charging powered by cutting-edge vehicle-to-grid technology. For consumers, this is not just about driving an electric car. It's about joining an ecosystem where convenience, economy, and sustainability are seamlessly integrated. This kind of holistic solution is what sets BYD apart in a crowded field. Equally remarkable is BYD's deployment of megawatt flash chargers across China. These chargers use a 1,000-volt architecture, double the peak power of Tesla's latest supercharger in Britain. This technology allows a driver to add up to 250 miles of range in a mere 5 minutes. For comparison, Tesla's most advanced V4 supercharger only delivers about half that peak power and takes almost twice as long to deliver a similar range. This ultra-fast charging capability is not just a matter of convenience. It is a potential game-changer for global electric vehicle adoption, addressing one of the last great barriers to mainstream acceptance. However, the path ahead for BYD is not without its challenges. In its home market, BYD is navigating what some call a price war panic. As competition intensifies and new entrants flood the Chinese electric vehicle market, automakers are slashing prices to maintain market share. Chinese government officials have repeatedly warned that this race to the bottom could erode profits and threaten the very quality and trust that BYD has painstakingly built over decades. Overseas, BYD faces the daunting challenge of adapting to a dizzying array of consumer preferences, regulatory requirements, and the ever-present threat of tariffs or trade barriers. BYD's ambitious goal is to sell at least half of its cars outside China by the year 2030, a target that will require not only scale, but also agility, local insight, and relentless innovation. So, can BYD sustain its explosive growth and truly become a dominant force in international markets? Or will the very forces that fueled its meteoric rise, fierce competition, volatile raw material prices, and shifting government policies, turn into insurmountable obstacles? The answer is far from simple, and industry analysts remain divided. Some believe that BYD's technological edge, especially its blade battery and ultra-fast charging systems, gives it an almost unassailable moat. Imagine a world where charging your car takes only 5 minutes but delivers more than 250 miles of range. That is not just convenience. That is a paradigm shift that could finally banish range anxiety and make electric vehicles the logical choice for the majority of drivers. Abhik Mukherjee of Counterpoint Research suggests that BYD's rapid charging technology is expected to significantly ease consumer concerns and accelerate the global adoption of electric vehicles. Others, however, warn of looming clouds on the horizon. The ongoing price war panic in China is already squeezing profit margins. Local officials have warned that unsustainable discounting could trigger a race to the bottom, not only threatening profits but also undermining the hard-won reputation for quality that BYD now enjoys. Overseas, the company must navigate a labyrinth of regulations, shifting consumer tastes, and the specter of trade disputes. A single misstep, whether it is a poorly managed product recall or a regulatory blunder, could halt BYD's momentum in its tracks. Jasmine Daniel of CBT News warns that BYD's explosive growth is devouring market share. placing immense pressure on established automakers to innovate or risk fading into irrelevance. But where there is risk, there is also extraordinary opportunity. BYD's vertical integration means it is not beholden to external suppliers for its most critical components. This enables rapid innovation and empowers the company to launch market-specific models with unprecedented speed. Case in point, the introduction of the Atto 2 in Europe helped drive BYD's exports up by more than 120% in just the first 2 months of 2025. Strategic alliances, such as the partnership with Octopus Energy, may solidify BYD's foothold in the United Kingdom and pave the way for expansion into other markets. According to Counterpoint Research, BYD is on track to claim nearly 16% of the global battery electric vehicle market in 2025, surpassing some of the most entrenched competitors in the business. Looking more deeply, BYD's transformation mirrors broader shifts in the global economy. Just as Japanese automakers like Toyota and Honda disrupted the Western automotive landscape in the 1970s and 1980s, Chinese manufacturers such as BYD are now leading a new wave of disruption. The ripple effects extend far beyond automobiles. As Chinese companies climb the value chain, they are reshaping global supply networks, influencing safety and performance standards, and challenging the West's long-standing dominance in advanced manufacturing. But what does all this mean for the everyday consumer? For ordinary drivers, BYD's success translates into more choices, greater affordability, and access to technology that was once the exclusive domain of luxury brands. The fierce competition ignited by BYD's rise is forcing all automakers to innovate faster, lower prices, and improve quality. This is a win for consumers everywhere, from the winding streets of London to the sun-baked highways of California and beyond. For investors, BYD's story underscores the importance of looking past the obvious. Warren Buffett's early investment in BYD, a stake worth just $230 million at the time, was not simply about following the latest trend. It was about recognizing a company with a unique blend of technical prowess, supply chain mastery, and an unyielding drive to challenge the status quo. That bet has paid off in ways few could have imagined, with BYD now standing as a global giant whose market valuation has soared into the tens of billions. For governments and industry strategists, the rise of BYD serves as both a warning and an inspiration. It highlights the necessity of supporting homegrown innovation, building resilient supply chains, and keeping ahead of global technological advances. The emergence of BYD raises critical questions about regulatory policy, trade relations, and the very future of global competition. As the world edges closer to a future dominated by electric vehicles, decisions made today will shape the automotive landscape for decades to come. So, has BYD truly cracked the code for global dominance? For now, the evidence suggests yes. By combining relentless technological innovation, bold strategic vision, and an uncanny ability to outmaneuver industry giants, BYD has transformed itself from the punchline of late-night jokes into a global powerhouse at the vanguard of the electric revolution. Yet, the road ahead is anything but certain. Success will depend on how effectively BYD manages its rapid growth, navigates geopolitical tensions, and adapts to the diverse needs of consumers across continents. Before we wrap up, here is a little-known detail. Warren Buffett's 10% stake in BYD, worth just $230 million at the time, did more than inject cash. It bestowed priceless global credibility, opening doors to partnerships and new markets. Even for a legendary investor like Buffett, the scale of BYD's subsequent rise was almost unimaginable. Looking forward, BYD faces a host of complex challenges. As it continues to roll out its state-of-the-art megawatt flash chargers and expand its vehicle lineup, the company must remain vigilant against the pitfalls of overexpansion, complacency, and regulatory backlash. Its ability to forge new alliances, invest in next-generation technologies, and uphold its reputation for quality and safety will determine whether it remains atop the electric vehicle industry or is overtaken by the next wave of disruptors. Consider also the broader impact. BYD's rise is already influencing how cities and countries plan for future mobility. European governments, for example, are now rethinking their automotive industrial strategies, investing in domestic battery plants, and reassessing trade policies to ensure that their own automakers can keep pace. In the United States, BYD's momentum has sparked debates about tariffs, sourcing requirements, and the future of local manufacturing jobs. The fierce competition is not just driving innovation in cars themselves, but also in the infrastructure that supports them, charging networks, smart grids, and energy storage solutions. Moreover, BYD's focus on affordable models and rapid-to-market launches is democratizing electric mobility. In markets like Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Africa, where cost is a critical factor, BYD's scalable technology and efficient production methods are opening doors for millions of first-time electric vehicle owners. This could have profound implications for global emissions, energy independence, and the way cities are designed in the 21st century. As BYD accelerates into new markets, the world is watching. Will this once sleeping giant continue to shape the future of mobility, or will a new challenger emerge to claim the throne? The answer to that question may ultimately reshape not just the automotive